In 1971, the government produced briefing paper 1048, which showed Britain being deceitfully bundled into a federal states of Europe. It was suppressed for 30 years. This channel brings you the truth.
Hello, and welcome to Eurocom. Virtually none of what you will find on this channel will ever appear in the British media or press. Since 1973, the British public have been kept in the dark about the European Union. That continues to this day. There never has been a mandate from the British people allowing the European Union to impose treaties, laws, directives or regulations on or demand money or support from Britain. Almost everything that the European Union has done in relation to Britain is illegal, undemocratic and unenforceable. Our relationship with the EU is nothing more than a gigantic con, a Eurocon, based on lies and deceit from our own politicians who continue to obfuscate and bluster and hide as best they can much EU activity from us. The whole wretched project continues only because we allow it. We could walk away tomorrow from this corrupt, undemocratic shambles. We need only to inform them that we are leaving, and there is nothing the Brussels bureaucrats could do about it. This channel, Eurocom, has been created to ensure that today's truths are not hidden from you. This first program is given over to one of the most significant speeches in recent years concerning Britain's continued membership of the EU. On the 11th of September this year, the EU Commission President, Manuel Barroso, gave his State of the Union address to the European Parliament in Strasbourg. The President of the EU Commission is one of the top 4 jobs in the EU bureaucratic structure responsible for EU policy and law. Barroso stressed that he was not advocating the creation of a European superstate. The content of his speech, however, reveals otherwise.
Mr. President, President of the Council, honourable members, it's an honour to stand before you today to deliver this third State of the Union address. My message to you today is this: Europe needs a new direction, and that direction cannot be based on old ideas. Europe needs a new thinking. Globalization demands more European unity. More unity demands more integration. More integration demands more democracy, European democracy. We must leave no doubt about the integrity of the Union or the irreversibility of the euro. The idea that we can grow without reform or that we can prosper alone is simply false. We must recognize that we are in this together and we must resolve it together. This decisive deal requires the completion of a deep and genuine economic union based on a political union. We must complete the economic and monetary union. We must create a banking union and a fiscal union and the corresponding institutional and political mechanisms. Today, the Commission is presenting legislative proposals for a single European supervisory mechanism for the Eurozone. This is the stepping stone to the banking union. But there is a second element of a deeper economic union. It is the move towards a fiscal union. The case for it is clear. To deliver lasting results, we need to develop a fully equipped community economic governance together with a genuine, credible community fiscal capacity.
Already, and only halfway through his speech, Barroso has identified areas of governance he wants for Brussels. All necessary structures of a federal European state. An example of this is his talk of a fiscal union, by which he means government expenditures, revenues and debt, areas which should be the prime concern of sovereign nation-state governments. He next turns to political parties standing in European elections. Such parties cannot continue to exist in a federal state. Barroso offers a pan-European solution.
We cannot continue trying to solve European problems just with national solutions. We must strengthen the role of the European Parliament at European level, and we need to promote a genuine complementarity and cooperation between the European and national parliaments. This also cannot be done without strengthening European political parties. Indeed, we have very often a real disconnect between political parties in the capitals and the European political parties here in Strasbourg. This is why we have to recognize that the political debate is cast all too often as if it were just between national parties. Even in the European elections, we don't see the name of the European political parties in the ballot box. We see a discussion national between national parties. This is why we need a reinforced statute for European political parties. I am proud to announce that the Commission has adopted today a proposal for this. An important means to deepen the pan-European political debate will be the presentation by European political parties of their candidate for the post of Commission President at European Parliament elections already in 2014. This can be done without treaty change. And this will be a decisive step to make the possibility of a European choice offered by these elections even clearer. I call on the political parties to commit to this step and thus to further Europeanize the European elections.
The ultimate aim of this initiative is that eventually only pan-European parties will exist. Defence was the next item.
The world needs a Europe that is capable of deploying military missions to help stabilize the situation in crisis areas. We need to launch a comprehensive review of European capabilities and begin truly collective defence planning. Yes, we need to reinforce our common foreign security policy and to have a common approach to defence matters. Because together we have the power and the scale to shape the world into a fairer, rules-based and human rights abiding place.
This is the EU alarmingly flexing its muscles. And then this.
A deep and genuine economic and monetary union, a political union with a coherent foreign and defence policy, means ultimately that the present European Union must evolve. And let's not be afraid of the words. We will need to move towards a federation of nation-states. This is what we need. This is our political horizon. This is what must guide our work in the years to come. Today, I call for a federation of nation-states, not a superstate. A democratic federation of nation-states that can tackle our common problems through the sharing of sovereignty in a way that each country and each citizen are better equipped to control their own destiny. This is about union with the member states, not against the member states. In the age of globalization, pooled sovereignty means more power, not less. And I said on purpose a federation of nation states because I think in these turbulent times, in these times of anxiety, it will be a real mistake to leave the defense of the nation just to the nationalists and the populists. I believe in a Europe where people are proud of their nations, but also proud to be European and proud of our European values. Creating this federation of nation-states will ultimately require a new treaty. A deep and genuine and economic monetary union can be started under the current treaties, but can only be completed with changes in the treaties. So let's start it now, but let's have the horizon for the future present in our decisions of today. This is our project, a project that is step by step, but with a big ambition for the future, with a federation as the horizon for Europe.
Despite Barroso's assurance that he is not creating a federal superstate, as we've just seen, that is precisely what he describes. Is it coincidental that on the 17th of September this year, 11 EU states, the Future of Europe group, met and produced a report recommending the implementation of all the areas of governance identified in Barroso's speech? Finally, if there were still any doubt as to Barroso's intentions, the following from Guy Verhofstadt MEP completely gives the game away. Verhofstadt, the former Prime Minister of Belgium, is now the leader of the third largest political group in the European Parliament, a grouping which holds the balance of power between the left and the right. He had this to say.
The euro crisis is calling for the creation of a true federal state, a European state, a state that has a European treasury, a European bond market, a European government. All this is necessary. Obviously, this takes over from nation states. It's a transfer of skills and powers from a national to a European level.
So there you have it. For the past 40 years, we've been told it wasn't happening. But at last, European politicians are publicly announcing that they are planning to create a federal state which will signal the end of sovereign nation states, including Britain. Yet not a word of warning from a British MP or minister about this speech, and barely a mention anywhere in the press or the media. Britain is being sleepwalked into extinction, led by our own politicians, aided and abetted by the mainstream media. If you care about Britain, tune into this channel for regular bulletins on what they're planning to do to us. You won't find it anywhere else. See you soon.
Eurocon has been produced by The Unit. You can find our website at theunit.com. Barroso's speech can be found in full on our website with additional links to YouTube. The next Eurocon programme will include features by Dr. Eric Edmond on the economic situation within the Eurozone, plus a more detailed examination of the report of the Future of Europe group and how it affects Britain. Should anything develop or happen, we will do our best to make sure you know about it without delay on this channel.